Good morning, this is Andy from TNC Roamer, and today we're going to be working on the solar panels. I want to use as much of the roof rack as I can. Let's get started. Alright, I'm back on the driver's side now. I'm going to take these two bolts off. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We actually have 6 mounting points. That's pretty cool. Well, I guess it's time to take some measurements. Be right back. I'm on the passenger side, so I want to take some dimensions here. I want to know the distance from this hole to that hole in the center. So it's 1, 2, 3/8, 42 and 3/8. Measure it twice. From end to end. Yep, 42 and 1, 2, 3/8. Perfect. It's probably good end to end. It's about 42. Let's make sure. Yeah, that's 42. We'll do the mid one. I'm sure they're all the same dimension. Yeah, that's 42. It's 27.5 exactly. Alright guys, I'm back from the metal store and I was able to get this half cut of aluminum angle, and I need to get this cut to 45 inches. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm just hoping to cut this at 45 inches. Right there. A little minus is good. Oh, I've got to get ear protection. Alright, here we go. I'm going to file the ends on this real quick, and then we'll test fit it just to see how we're doing, and then we'll cut our driver's side. So we get a file. Alright, so I'm back with my file. Alright, so I've got my driver's side angle drilled. I'm going to go hop up on the roof and see how I did. Be right back. Alright guys, I'm back from the big box store and I got the M6 by 1 by 16 millimeters long. I got some washers. These bolts they basically have the locking mechanism on them, so I don't need lock washers. But I am going to go ahead and put these washers on now and see how many I want to use. Now, there's a max depth here, and I don't want to exceed it. But I do want it to go all the way through. So, I mean, I probably could go one more washer. So it's basically all 4 washers per bolt. So you just throw on all 4 washers. It makes it so the bolt can't go too far in there and hit the sheet metal on the roof. And I got just enough. So let me get all that. So you'll need a 4-pack per screw, and there's 3 screws on the side. I have the rail installed on the driver's side, and now it's time to do the passenger side. Let's get to it. All right, guys, I'm back, getting this angle prepared. I have my M6 bolts. I have my washers. We're gonna do 3 bolts, but 4 washers per bolt underneath. So the next step would be to lay the panels on the roof. Well, to put the Z brackets on the panels, and then lay the panels on the roof and see where we want our horizontals to go. Of course, we'll have to measure the distance across. Good morning. It's the next day. I have some wood I picked up last night, and I'm ready to get started. So just looking at these roof ribs, it's not level. So what we're going to need to do is put tabs on here. So we're going to screw these tabs in, but only like maybe like 6 inches or so. We'll do 6-inch tabs, and then we'll lay another longer board on top, and then we'll screw the solar panels into that. Sounds like a plan. It's just roughly here so that I can figure out how I want to overlay it. So I know I have a screw right here, so if I move this up, at least I won't have to put any notches in the wood. So I'm trying to locate these cross blocks that I'll be screwing these long boards in, these slats into. So I got roughly a 1-inch overhang on this side, 2-inch overhang on this side. So I want to go over 1/2 inch. That's about 1.5 inches, but I'm going to get my tape measure just to give me an idea how long I want these boards to be. So all I need to do now is take a measurement from the edge of this tab to the edge of that tab. Since I am only one person, I'm trying to get a piece of tape on the ruler, on the end of the ruler, or on the end of the tape measure, so I can keep it there while I go to the next slide. All right, that's right on the edge. All right, so it looks like we're roughly 47. Yeah, I think if we just do 47 and center it, we'll be fine. Okay, so I have my my one tab. What I'll probably do is just mark the placement of the tab and then take this off on the bench, drill hole, use the drill press and drill 3 holes into here, and then put the tabs on the workbench. This way I'm not having to, because the rail's a little bit higher here. Now I can't quite get straight in. It's 26. Okay, so from the edge of the L in the rear to the start of the front passenger side, well, and driver's side, is, I think I said 26 inches. Yep, 26 inches. So we have our dimension from there to there. Let's get some marks in here. This way we can pull this down. So I have some Loctite. I will need to make sure on the final install I put Loctite on those bolts. Is that I labeled the angle front driver and front passenger. This one says front passenger, so I always know the orientation of this material. I'm going to set the depth to, let's see here, 11/16. Let me bring it into inch. Let's see, 1.75 there. 1.75 there. All right, we're ready to drill. I'm going to use this block as a stop. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is put like a countersink spot in there for the head of the screw. Having it like an official countersink bit. So bring this up. It's right in the middle. see how we did. Now I know it's not going to be flush, but it'll be close enough. See? Alright, so this one's ready for a screw right here. Get set up for that. Alright, so I got my Torx screw. My first. Gonna put that in the center. And then just screw in. It's perfect. Alright, so now I can take my clamp off. Well, one thing I could do for this next part is clamp the edge of the board down flush. So that works too. Let me go get 2 more, or 5 more. Maths with Andy. Okay, let me go get the other tab. And finally, perfect. Alright, so now we have our tabs on this side. We'll be able to reattach this to the van and move on to the driver's side. Oh, yeah, that's pretty far forward. Nice. Alright, let's get some thread lock on this one. We're going to have to do the Z brackets too with thread lock. Probably take you with me when I do that, since you're always hanging around watching my hour-long build videos. Sharing, liking, and subscribing helps the channel grow. Just putting a little dollop on there. Oh, that doesn't feel right. Let's take that out. Take a look. Oh yeah, let's move that over. I got another one of these 8-footers. We're going to cut 2 more tabs at 6 inches, and then we're going to go ahead and finish drilling out our tab mounting points. So there'll be 6 holes we need to drill and countersink. Let's get started. Alright, so I have all of the tick marks placed on my L. The next thing I want to do is set 6 center punch marks, 1 for each one of the holes we'll be drilling and countersinking. So let's get started. Oh, it's the perfect size. That's the long one, so I'm trying not to use these long ones. Let's see how far we get though. I'm gonna have to climb up here and get that done. All right, so I have all 2, 4, 6, 8 screws in exactly how I want them, so that's probably enough. Thing is they're the same diameter screws, they're just a little bit longer, the extra ones I have. So I'm just going to run those in on the back side and then replace them when I get the hardware I need. All right, I'm going to start using the longer ones now. They go straight through, but that's okay. I'll replace them. You know what? That's probably good enough for now. I'm going to call it quits here and go get some hardware. Be right back. All right, guys, I'm back from the big box store. I got my hardware and I got my tool. All I have to do next is put these screws in and we can move on to the gland. It's not magnetic. Just got done installing my solar panels. All right, guys, it's getting to the end of the day. Well, solar panels are done. The only thing we have to do next is the gland right about here. I'll pass the wires through, hook them up to the charge controller. Then we'll pass the wires through the gland, hook them up to the charge controller, and we are done with solar. Good morning. We're back the next day, and I have my gland here. I want to install this. Before we do that, I also want to take a look into pulling this panel down so I can take a peek under the headliner. I just don't want to drill through the roof at any spot where there's wires that could get damaged. Let's get started. We definitely have some room here to look at, but there's an air duct right here. That's an air duct, that black thing for the air conditioning. So I don't have a whole lot of visibility, but I technically might have a hard time getting my wires fished through here once I do drill a hole. This wire, this solar wire is pretty soft. I'm just curious, is it a large enough gap to just hang it through there? Just curious, right? All right, so I'm just looking at how I want to do this. It's possible I don't even need the gland. Watch this. So the wire is running, it's right here, and there's a gap between the frame of the car and the door. So the wires could come down here, tucked in. I don't even think I need to drill anything. Watch this. There's a large gap between the chassis and the lift gate. The gap is large enough to where we'll be able to have it wired and not do any drilling whatsoever. The next step would be to figure out the best way to route this negative wire. I have it all tucked in. I could do it just a little bit better. Just gonna put a little tape down for right now. Eventually I'll get some official kind of tie down of some sort. But let me close the door and see how I like it. Yeah, it latched. Seems fine. Cable's really loose, like really loose. Not gonna be an issue. All right, let me get the negative. My car locked. They locked me out. All right, so now I have both of them. Let's go ahead and run the positive wire. All right, so I don't really have anything wired, but I have the wires run. I'm going to close the lift gate and connect the solar panels. Sweet, it's that easy. That's gonna make some wind noise, isn't it? I'll probably just tape it down. Some flex tape maybe. All right, to do this next part, I'm gonna need to unscrew my So, charge controller. I'm gonna try and use some different screws. Okay, so let's take a look here. We have positive, negative. I'm already up to 13.6 volts. My batteries. That's funny. All right, solar charger's on. Pulling 4.3 amps. No load. All right, we're on the last stretch of the solar project. All I want to do is tie these cables down to the floorboards so they don't move around too much, right? I have purchased cable clamps. All I need to do is install one cable clamp per wire and I'm done. Let's get started. All right, that's it. Solar charging from the panels. All right, everybody, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me hook the solar panels up. Yeah, it was quite rewarding watching the batteries get charged. I took the car out for like an hour in the hot sun, no clouds. And this battery went from 13.4 volts all the way up to 14.6 volts. Nice. If possible, give the video a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If possible, share it with someone you know. This way I can grow the channel. The next project is going to be installing the water pump. So I'll be adding I think a 24-gallon water bag with an inline filter to the pump, from the pump to the kitchen. Look for that video next. Hope to see you soon.